Hello, boys and girls. I wanted to make you a video to get a little better understanding of what's going on with the moon. So what I have here is I have an Earth, moon, and sun setup. Let's keep in mind, in real life, the moon would be the smallest of these three objects. The Earth would be the middle-sized object, and the sun would be huge. It would be the biggest of them all. So these objects are not perfectly shown size-wise. But keep in mind, again, the moon would be the smallest, the Earth would be middle-sized, and the sun would be the largest. So also remember that without the sun, we're not going to see the moon at all. The sun provides the light that allows us to see the moon. Now let's talk about the moon phases. So the moon phases are how we see the moon differently throughout the month. And it's all going to depend on basically the sun and the moon and the Earth's positioning. Okay, and by positions, I mean angles are involved. So there's three types of angles that are going to be involved here. Actually, sorry, four types. Straight angle, right angle, acute angle, and obtuse angles. So let's start with this position right here. This would be the beginning of a lunar month, or the first moon phase. So if we take a look, the moon is directly between the Earth and the sun. So notice that the white part of the moon, okay, the right side, that's the side of the moon that's lit up. It's the side that's facing the sun. The dark side is the side that faces Earth. So this is a straight line angle with the moon in the middle. So if we were to look up at the moon at night, we would actually, this is what we would see. We would see nothing. This would be a new moon for us. And the reason it's a new moon is because it's a straight line arrangement. So on this Post-it note, if the Earth, moon, and sun are in a straight line, a straight angle, with the moon in the middle, that would be a new moon because the side we see is not facing the sun. So to us, it's completely dark. So that's a new moon. Now, of course, the moon is going to move around the Earth. Okay, so the moon is going to move counterclockwise. So the next position will be over a few days. Now the moon will be more in this position. Okay, it's going counterclockwise around the Earth. So when the moon begins to move around the Earth, now we have a different angle. Okay, this is actually going to be an acute angle now. Now by acute, I mean it's not a straight line anymore. We have the moon, the Earth, and the sun, and it's making an angle like this. That's an acute angle. It's less than 90 degrees. And an acute angle is going to result in our next moon phase, which is a waxing crescent. So from Earth, we would now see the moon like this, which is basically, from our perspective on Earth, we see a little sliver of the moon on the side, which makes that crescent shape that we see from Earth. So basically, from our perspective, we see this little corner of the lit up side of the moon. And again, this would be an acute angle between the sun, Earth, and moon. Okay, so that's an acute angle. Time's going to go by, a few more days, and then eventually the moon is going to move some more. Okay, so now we have the moon, Earth, and sun making a right angle. Let me just fix that moon. So from our perspective on Earth, we're now going to see the moon like this. Okay, this would be the first quarter. And the reason we see it like that is because now the Earth, sun, and moon are making a right angle like this. A right angle is like an L shape. It's exactly 90 degrees. So that would be the first quarter. So the moon, Earth, and sun are making that 90-degree angle as the moon goes around the Earth. Of course, if we continue this process, the moon's going to keep going. Okay, and eventually now it's going to be starting to get on the other side of the Earth. So this angle is now going to be an obtuse angle, and we would see the moon like this from Earth. This would be our view from Earth. It would look like this. It's almost a full moon, but not quite. That would be the waxing gibbous. And the result of the waxing gibbous, it's caused because we now have an obtuse angle. So now the sun, Earth, and moon are in this position, which is greater than 90 degrees, and they make an obtuse angle. And I know it's kind of tough to see, but let me give you a view of that. Notice how the sun, Earth, and moon are making an obtuse angle in their arrangement. Now, of course, it's going to continue, and eventually the moon will be on the other side of the earth from where we started from. Okay, so remember, we started with the moon being right here between the earth and the sun. Now the moon's on the other side, so the side that faces earth is getting the sunlight. Now, a question I typically get is, but isn't the earth blocking the sun? You would think that, but in real life, this sun is like 1,000,000 times the size of the earth, so that light goes right past the earth and still hits the moon, and it hits the side that we see, and of course we would see the moon as a full moon. Our side is completely lit up. And again, that is caused because we then have a straight angle. Now you might be thinking, but wait, we had a straight angle in the beginning. Yes, we did, but now the moon's on the other side, making a straight angle, but a different arrangement. In the beginning, the moon was in the middle. So straight lines can be new or full moons depending on where the moon is. If the moon's in the middle, it's a new moon. If the moon's on the outside, it's a full moon. Trust me, I know it gets tricky. Now, the moon is going to keep going. We're only halfway. So eventually the moon is now going to continue, and we are making again, with the earth, moon, and sun, we're making an obtuse angle. All right, so this obtuse angle is going to make us go into the next moon phase, and that next moon phase, give me 1 second. For our view, would look like this. Now we're in the waning gibbous. Okay, so we're getting darker now. So that's an obtuse angle again, and we're waning or getting darker. Then eventually the moon will make a right angle again, but on the opposite side of the earth, and as the moon continues to get darker, the moon will now look like this from Earth. This would be the third quarter. Okay, it's another right angle, but the moon's on the other side, and now it's getting darker from our view. Okay, so that is the third quarter. Then the moon will continue, and it will be in this position right about here. We're back to an acute angle again, but the moon is just on the other side from where it was before. And since it's an acute angle, the view from Earth would be like this. That is a waning crescent. And then we get back to where we started, and we go back to new moon again. Okay, this is where we began in the beginning. Okay, it's a straight line. So basically, it takes about 29 days for this moon to go all the way around the Earth, all the way around, and back to new moon again. It also takes the moon 29 days to rotate one time. Okay, so since it's rotating and revolving at the same speed, we always see that same side of the moon from Earth. Okay, so it's all about the arrangement and the angle and how the sun hits it as it goes around the Earth that allows us to see those different moon phases from new moon all the way back to new moon again, about a month, right? So hopefully that was helpful, and just think of the angles and where the moon is as it revolves around the sun. Around the Earth. And also, it's a pattern. Remember that cross-cutting concept pattern? It just keeps repeating itself.